This is Brownie's Podcast!
Sweet Jesus, degenerates. Let's just listen to those last moments. Oh, my God.
I think they can hang on unless they make a monumental error here. Brody Myatek down the line. The Magpies and their massive army are going to win a record equaling 16th flag. How sweet it is! Collingwood win the grand final.
Listen. Listen. Dog, best ever?
It was unbelievable. It's one of the best grand finals that I can remember being at. Live, absolutely loved every second of it. And unfortunately for the Lions and JB sitting next to me, that the MCG hoodoo continues.
Yeah, man.
2-17 now since 2013.
John, commiserations, brother.
Enough. I'm a bit dusty, boys, out there at Premiership Reunion, which we'll speak about yesterday, but it was the best grand final I've been to live. It was unbelievable. I wasn't fortunate enough to, 89, I was about 8 or 9 years old watching at home with Dad on the couch. That was the best one I've seen. But the best one to be at live was Saturday. It was unbelievable.
It was great.
Did you think that?
Yeah, well, I was at 18 because Eagles won. I loved it, but this one had everything from
How
start
pure was
to finish.
it? Yeah. High scoring first half. Blokes kicking goals out of their arse.
Yeah.
The Mycheck goal from the pocket.
Yeah.
The Zach Bailey first two goals.
Yeah.
To spark you.
That were DeGoey-esque, those
Oh,
ones.
they were unbelievable.
Mother, the breaking out of contest.
The Specky by Elliott?
Oh, no, it was by Bobby
No,
Hill.
sorry, by Bobby Hill.
He kicked 4 in the first half. He'd never kicked 4 in a game, I don't think. He had 4 in the first half of a granny, coming off testicular cancer last year, first season at the club. It had everything, mate.
The greatest grand final goal I've ever seen was steel side bottoms.
Mate!
I leaned over to Kylie. I was sitting beside my beautiful wife, Kyle's, and I said, he is no chance.
Yeah.
25 minutes in the last quarter. It's 30 degrees.
He's 34 years
34 years old. I thought he'd be absolutely exhausted. He wouldn't have kicked 55 most of his career, let alone when you're absolutely cooked and the tank is empty.
Ran out
on
slightly,
grand final.
just a bit to get that leverage.
It was correct. He got the leverage.
Flashed it, mate.
When he flushed it off, and the Collingwood bloke in front of me turned around and goes, "You were wrong, Brownie."
He hit that as pure as Dan Houston hit that ball to beat Essendon that night with a wet pill. But,
hey, on that
he'd
note,
want his time back again, giving him the 50 berry.
yeah, let's talk about
on the
that
wing.
50. Was it a 50?
It was 50.
It was 50.
Yeah, I think it was. But you could understand he was falling, so he's thinking side bottom's going to get away and
Play on.
Play on. So he rolled the dice for the professional free kick, and the umpire was all over it. It was the right call.
Great
I didn't think the game was umpired poorly. Early on, they'd obviously listened to Lee Matthews' comments about head-high tackles. They paid 2 or 3 early, but it was the late advantage one. You watched that late where it should have been pulled back. However, you can understand with, a minute or two to go, you understand the emotion, the heat of the game, how that can that decision cannot get paid.
We can understand that, but can Lions fans understand
On the day, live, I thought it was 50. And I'm glad the umpire paid it.
No, sorry, we're talking about the advantage.
We were
Oh,
talking
the
about it
advantage.
3
Sorry,
minutes
guys.
ago. We were talking about it. Stop checking your phone, mate.
I haven't checked my phone. I mean, to the letter of the law, it was advantage.
Yeah.
You got a clean kick away. It's not an umpire's call to look at where the kick goes
But
and
Tom,
then go, no, hang on a second, went too high. And
They
to a
often
contest.
they call them back when
Yeah, they call
the
them back when
advantage is
they're under
there.
pressure.
Good luck hearing also. Good luck trying to make sense when there's 100,000 people
'Cause
screaming in the back.
Let's just be clear. If that gets called back, it's a free kick on the 50. It goes deep to win the game.
Yes.
Correct. Or he hits up a leading target. Or But anyway, what a performance. And what about Jack Ginnivan going to Moonee Valley the night before a granny? Now, no one loves the pun as much as me. I love it.
I don't know about
For
this.
him to pop out to Moonee Valley for a couple of hours.
What?
For Moya Stakes night.
Mate, not a couple of hours. He was there till after the last race.
Is next level degenerate behaviour.
Did he have his head?
We respect it. We respect it.
So I remember when I loved Weekend Hustler, back in the day, the McDonald runner, we were playing the last round of the year versus Carlton at Etihad Stadium. The night Buddy kicked his 100th goal, we had a night game. I ducked up to Caulfield at about 4:30 for the Group 1 and watched the horse win. It was great. And I had my Hawthorn Club suit on and jumped in the car and drove to Marvel, and I was a bit late, but it didn't matter. And a few people watching the races, and they sort of looked at me and went, "You're not playing tonight?" And I said, "Yeah, no, I'm playing." And they couldn't believe that I was there just for a regular home and away game. Jack Ginnivan's there before the big dance, and he's lucky that they won because he didn't play well. He had no impact on the game. He would have got crucified by the media if they'd have lost.
My favourite Jack Ginnivan story of the weekend is, that he's selling bootleg T-shirts with his own merchandise.
I respect that.
He started his own website selling Jack Ginnivan T-shirts.
He's rogue.
That's
Collingwood
awesome.
would be filthy with
He
that.
wants to come on SEN track during the off season now.
He'd be making good money though.
That is awesome.
He'd be making good cash. Keep going down.
No, other talking points of the game, just things that stick in your mind. At the very end, did you guys see McCreery? There's always an awkward moment when you see the little kids that get the shake hand and the people are having a go at McCreery, and there's nothing in this whatsoever. But he doesn't shake the kid's hand. Instead, he goes to the camera and does the call me sign.
Oh, yeah.
Man, it's hilarious.
Fair bit of
But that reminded me, because that says to me he's trying to get laid, maybe.
Yes.
That reminds me of Steve O'Dwyer in the 1989 VFL Grand Final. Have you heard what he says on the dais?
This is hilarious.
I just also like to say the girls are for the young blokes, not me, because I've got the girlfriend over there in the stand. Well, you may have...
good chat. I wonder if he's still with her.
Girls are for the young blokes.
We should find out if he went on to marry that woman. Great game. I thought that the two really critical goals that DeGoey kicked were massive because Dunkley had his number in the first quarter, kept into one touch.
Yeah.
And then right on quarter time, he owned that moment.
Yes.
He turns his back and walks. He hears the siren sound and kicks it.
I love that.
And then the second goal that he kicked, which was the quick reply after Charlie Cameron's goal.
Yeah.
And I just remember thinking, I know that Braden Maynard, in their loss in 2018, still carries the weight of the block, and the Dom Shee goal, and was it a free, or could I have got to that contest?
He played on. He sort of played on. I'm an Eagles fan. He played on.
And when Charlie Cameron kicked that goal and Bruzzy was on the ground, he'd beaten him in that one-on-one contest to put him in front. I'm thinking, the poor guy, this is deja vu. It's going to happen in 2 grand finals late. But the quick reply from DeGoey, like the momentum straight back to the Pies.
That's what killed Brisbane all day. It was every time you look like, and Collingwood were the best team on the day, no question about it. But the Lions gave themselves a chance, and they hung in there. But every time you felt as if the Lions got some momentum, Collingwood would go bang.
That DeGoey goal,
just momentum killers all day.
That DeGoey goal, it should not be underestimated, the assist there. Nick Dacos has passed that while flying through the air, hand passed it while flying through the air. That's the difference. Most players will get to the ground and dish it.
No one
he
would think...
flies through the air and gets it done in one action.
That's footy IQ, mate, that not many footballers are able to execute or even see that he's got to go in the corner of his eye and get the hands in.
And that's what made the space.
So if you had votes, if you were doing Norm Smith, I'd say the 4 best were obviously Hill, Danaher, Crisp and Pendlebury were my 4.
Dean Coleman? He was absolutely massive.
He was good in the first half.
Right.
Yeah, he dropped away in the second half.
Yeah, he flew back to Brisbane in the second half.
For me, they were the 4 best players on the ground. Like Pendlebury's it's almost an unfair advantage.
Yeah.
He's an on-field coach.
Oh.
Just a traffic cop. Like, honestly, and I asked the pre-game to Gary Lyon, like, what would you do to try and distract Pendlebury? Now, in the old days, mate, you need to dot him in the back of the head because to get rid of him, it would have been the most important thing with the Brisbane Lions because he just controls the game late.
And the pace
of it. He puts everyone in the right spots. It's like having an extra man out there.
No, it's actually, now that you've said that, I didn't put too much time of it, but every time Collingwood needed a goal in an important stage, who was it? Pendlebury put him back in front.
Yeah.
Crisp, his 2 to go. It was the senior guys that had been there, done that, lost one. But in those really critical moments. Stepped up and got it done.
How good's it just sitting here talking about a great grand final? Because so often we get disappointed.
Last year sucked balls.
Yeah, and it was a beautiful day.
Yeah,
it was hot weather. All the Collingwood nuffies were out and about. There was about 3 teeth between the whole crowd.
Do you know what, Trump? Our game on Saturday, the NRL Grand Final last
night. It was so good.
I actually watched it.
My God.
So good.
Do you know about it, JB?
Man, I saw the first half, and then I just continue on in my pints.
Oh,
Who
brother.
won? Who won?
Penrith 8-0 up with a minute to go before half time. Broncos get one late, so it's 8-6, but controlled it. Broncos come out of half time, go bang, 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 mate, 24-8 up with 17 minutes
Looks
left.
like it's done.
Gone.
Enter
Prince.
Cleary.
The Prince of Penrith.
Mate.
Nathan Cleary got the worst.
He's a psychopath.
He does a line break, throws one off, they score one. He does an unbelievable 40-20 kick. He then scores the winner with a minute to go.
Really?
And goes back and kicks the goal, and they win it, mate.
Unbelievable.
And no right whatsoever.
Oh, my
It was
God.
unbelievable. Unbelievable.
So he knocked over, converted a try.
Yeah.
Late.
Yeah.
Oh,
He wasn't missing. He was
he
unbelievable.
wasn't missing. Nah, it was the best.
I'm going to go back and watch that.
Back to our grand final, and I'm not having a go at Maynard. This is just an observation of something that happened. So all the Brizzy players are on the ground mourning, like just how they just roll down. You just want to sit down. You just want to space, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Maynard runs over to one while he's juiced up, while he's on top of the world, like could not be happier. And he shakes one of their hands and forces him to stand up. He goes, "Get up, mate, get up." As if to say, stand proud.
No.
Like, no, man, that's cringy.
Read the room, mate.
Let him mourn. Let him mourn at
That's
death.
not a time. That is not a time.
It's not a time.
What did you think of Kiss and the geriatric rock stars?
Missed it. We're on the pre-game. So I'm not sure you were watching this, but Kylie, I'm only going on Kyle's opinion. Kyle said they were very good.
Good. No, I enjoyed it.
Listen to me, you motherfucker. Are you sticking to Kiss were bad?
Shocking.
You're
Nah,
a fucking idiot.
Nah,
Shocking.
they were good.
They weren't good. They were unbelievable. It started good. It escalated.
better.
You've got to watch it again, you fool.
They were lip syncing and they were a minute out of time. They were singing lyrics that hadn't even
You're
come
wrong.
up yet. So they were a chorus. They were a chorus ahead, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, we'll just pretend like that didn't happen." What do you mean?
Listen to me, you tits.
They are so far away from the actual lyric. I was like, they are kidding.
His mic's off. They were unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, they played 3 songs, didn't they?
Three
Just
songs. The
bangers.
first one was back on. The first.
What was the first one?
I want to rock
remember?
and roll and I
Yeah,
don't think.
they opened with that.
Then shouted out loud. By the end of it, it escalated to this spectacular performance.
And all
Yeah.
the kids came on the ground?
All the kids made it. All the kids added to the atmosphere. The fireworks got nuts. It was a spectacular.
Yeah.
I saw the first song.
Spectacular.
Yes, man. Watch it again. You
That's
piece of
spectacular.
shit.
It's time to retire.
I
Kiss,
was halfway
unfortunately.
through the second song, right? And I got a frantic call from a mate of mine who I'd got 2 tickets for.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And he said, mate, I've just got to the game, went to scan in. They're already scanned in, these tickets.
Oh,
it's the
someone gypped
ultimate
him.
betrayal, right?
no.
Now you don't need the hard physical tickets.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all done electronically.
Yeah.
So if a mate says, I've got 2 tickets for your friends, and then you just text it to them.
Yes.
Right, so they've got it, but so does the actual person that has texted to you, right?
Yeah, that's right.
You got 2 live tickets.
So,
yes.
so it's like whoever gets in first gets a ticket. So my mates are and they said, what do I do? I said, mate, I don't know. Kiss is on. You might have need to have got there a bit earlier before this other person. I don't know. I don't know what happened. But that's bad.
Brody, I need you to.
I did think that. I thought that there's a fair chance that could happen.
Oh, without doubt, 100%.
Like, you could make a lot of money on grand final week.
Yeah.
You could have 2 tickets and sell them 10 times.
That's right.
And it's just a trust thing.
Yeah.
You can't trust
it is,
anyone.
It is a trust thing.
So are you going to follow the person that you bought them off? Or do you have to be that and try and rectify it? Like if this were a dodgy mafia deal, you're getting your legs broken.
It might have been a misunderstanding. I'm not too sure. I'm not too fussed with it because I saw a great grand final.
Bro, I'm not backing down on this Kiss thing just for 30 more seconds.
Okay, yeah,
you
this
look
is
at,
good.
You look
I
at
want you to
every
be
comment
staunch.
thread, universal praise.
Yeah.
The crowd were up and about. The Collingwood Army were going sick. They were fucking
Why
epic.
do you say that, Brody?
As a bit of a
Why are
music
you so
aficionado,
convinced?
I've seen a lot of live acts perform, and the fact that not one moved from the spot they were standing, because obviously they're
That's
so
just not
old.
true. Paul Stanley
they didn't
swung
sing.
a guitar around and then smashed
And
it.
Channel
You're on
7,
crack.
and
He's
Channel
on
7,
crack.
Channel 7 cut away from it, so you didn't even see him smash it.
No,
He just
you
came
actually-
back,
the
and he was
Foxtel
holding
thing,
it.
No, mate, you're right.
It must have been made out of paper mache because he didn't swing it that hard, that guitar.
So that is all of that. I'm sorry, that counts against their overall performance, and I would say it's a D+.
You're a
Absolute
buffoon.
mess.
Really?
You're a
I would say
buffoon.
Meatloaf got
The
a D.
best one
absolute
I've
buffoon.
seen, best one I have seen is Lionel Richie when they played the replay, because obviously they were in a panic, the AFL, so they didn't have much budget for the entertainment. Lionel Richie dancing on the ceiling, standing in the middle of the MCG. That's the best one I've seen.
This is better than Lionel Richie.
This is the same guy. Brody's the same guy.
Yes, that's a big statement.
Mate, I'm very excited about that. Was amazing.
I've got to watch this back. I haven't seen it.
Watch all 12 minutes. Promise me all 12 minutes.
Absolutely.
Because it escalates.
Today, in the next 6 months, I'll watch it.
Collingwood have come out, obviously, the last couple of days, and it's the age-old discussion, but I want to know where you guys sit on it. Medals for everyone in the squad. Yeah. Medals for everyone that's played a game that year. Medals for... Is there a cut-off threshold of 15 games? Like, do you need to have been a significant contributor to the season? Taylor Adams, John Noble, they're clearly part of this premiership build.
Yeah.
Do they deserve a medal? Should the AFL look into it?
Just grand final day. Because at the end of the day, if the players don't get the medal or they don't play in the grand final, they don't feel like there's always that hole in their heart.
Yeah.
So giving them a medal, even though they missed out, that's not really going to satisfy them. You know what I mean?
No, I know what you mean.
At the end of the day, it's
good acknowledgement though of you weren't there, but you helped us get.
But you have acknowledgement through your teammates and through the club, and obviously through your pay packet. But I'm not sure a medal is going to help those players cope with it, or to be able to get over it, because it's just you're just not there. You didn't experience that 2 hours, and that's why we're talking about. Like, you're looking out there, 100,000 people, beautiful weather. Great moments, and then they didn't get to experience that.
Yeah. Let's talk. What do you reckon?
I don't know. Like we had a beer on Friday night at the Beverly with Nick Nat. He didn't play in one. Tony Modra missed both of them in Adelaide. Like they are icons of their footy club that were there when their team won a flag. Yeah. I don't know. I know exactly what JB's saying. For that actual person, you'll never be able to
reconcile
it. But for if they caught him up on stage and they presented him with something as a noble contributor for the season and thank you, I don't know. It's a tough one.
Let's put it this way: if the hottest girl at the party pashes a guy and then she gives you a hug, did you kiss the hottest girl at the party? No, you didn't.
That's a strange analogy.
Yeah, but it could almost be the best thing Brody's ever said on this pod.
Think about that for the rest of the day.
Put that on a whiteboard and.
You don't have the bus fat that the guy who she kissed him.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right, so we'll take it.
Come back after the break. I want to talk about the plane trip.
I want to hear what you did in the last 4 days, what you did, because I can hear a bit of horse. Bros, I want to know what you did. Beck, I want to know what you did. Back in the circuit.
This is Brownie's Podcast.
Welcome back to Brownie's Podcast. Congratulations, all you Pies fans. I got to say, I'm so jealous of the party you got to have, or you've had for the last 2 years. And by that I mean how many close games by under 5 points. This one was insane. Did you see the footage around Smith Street and in Richmond? I saw a Hilux covered in people that looked like a parade float.
Yeah.
So it was
Swan Street was closed down. I left about 11 o'clock, the MCG.
So was it Brunswick and Smith that were cranking?
Yeah, I think that everywhere was.
The footage was
Swan Street was going absolutely wild.
Unbelievable.
And did you see the it's actually pretty funny. The Collingwood van that was decked out, and there was 15 people sitting on the roof. The guys actually complained because he was more than happy to drive all the Collingwood fans. It was a great time. Someone stole his bull bar, so they pulled it up on that.
Stole his bull bar,
and they ran away with it. And now he's trying to get his bull bar back.
He stole the bull bar.
You try and do one good deed and you get your bull bar stolen. That's
it's
typical Collingwood.
Did you see Josh Dacos interrupt Nick Dacos doing a live cross?
Yeah, that was so good.
And he's like, "What the bro? I'm on air."
Yeah,
he just ended a photo with you. Yeah.
Do you reckon Nick actually went to bed early? Is he like a full is he that level of profession? Because I remember Cooter didn't drink after the Blues one.
Really? That's outrageous.
Cooter did not drink.
You're selling Herbalife.
If ever there's a time to drink, even if you're a non-drinker, it's that time.
Absolutely.
Right? So what do you guys do post grand final? that must be the best moment. Obviously, you played in the game in that exhilaration, but the next 2, 3, 4, 5 days, what do you do?
Well, it was an interesting one. Obviously, I didn't play in the grand final this one, but about 11 o'clock, I walked to the MCG, and a friend of mine goes, we're going to Charlie Curnow's place for a house party. And I was like, really? She goes, it's in Hawthorn. So on the way home, I thought, okay, I'll stop there.
This is after the grand final.
It's after the grand final. So there's myself, I'm walking out. Myself, Travis Boak, and Mick Fanning. Okay.
Hold on.
This is a very unusual assortment of guests.
You went to a random house party with Travis Boak and Mick Fanning.
And we stopped in because you had to bring supplies. If you go to a house party, you can't turn up empty-handed. So I turn up at there's a bottle shop on Riversdale Road.
Yeah, there is.
I turn up, buy a slab of Carlton's, and I said to Mick, mate, you can't turn up empty-handed either. So I walk in with a slab of Carlton's on my shoulder. Mick walks in with a slab of vodka and squash. We're thinking of this quiet house party. There would have been 1,000 21-year-olds.
Really?
Oh, no.
And were they happy to see you?
Oh, yeah, go a little bit excited.
John.
Mate, I'm a 3-time premiership player, but...
Be honest.
No more excited to see the 3-time world surfing champion.
Be honest with
shark
me.
and won.
Did you get shit-faced and ask him about that shark?
I may have. I held in the cab when I was sitting there, and I shouted in the slab. I shouted in the slab of vodka and squash. I thought, I think I've earned the right to ask him the question about the shark.
I fully fanboyed someone for the first time in my life.
Who was it?
In the September Club.
Daryl Summers.
Ned Brockman. You remember the guy with the
Yeah,
blonde
yeah.
mullet
Oh,
that
yeah.
ran from Perth all the way to Sydney to raise money? I was put on a treadmill on Thursday at the EJ Whitten Race.
How'd that go?
I ran 25 Ks.
Amazing,
Absolutely cooked. But in my last sort of hour, I channeled Ned Brockman because I thought, mate, I'm done 3 hours.
Yeah.
He's done like 70 days of 60 kilometres plus, right?
Yeah.
And then I saw him, and I went up and said g'day, and he sort of didn't brush me, but he's like, yeah, no worries. I said, could I have a selfie, please? And he sort of went, oh, yeah, like another pest.
Yeah.
And he's standing there with Tommy Derricks, you know, the good-looking Sydney ruckman.
Yeah, that's right. He's a good man. He's good-looking man.
Yeah,
isn't he?
and so I thought, fuck, it's just sort of semi-brushed me like I'm a nuffy.
Yeah.
I said, I used to play against your mate Tommy a bit, right? Drop play some
smart.
footy. And then he gave me a bit more, so I got the photo. And then he used to write this word on his hand called sisu, which is like a Finnish motivational quote, right? So I got this photo with him, shook his hand, thanked him very much. And then as I was walking off, I went, Sisu, and he turned back and looked at me. It was like my WTB moment. You know, when someone yells that. Just a little acknowledgement there that what a nuffy.
And we've got to bring that back because WTB got yelled out a few times at the footy. And I said to Dog after the game, we were there at the September Club, we've got to bring WTB back.
Yeah, well, bring it back, listeners. I walked the grand final parade route.
Yeah.
Right, and we snaked through past the MCG, and the amount of people lying in the street, obviously waiting for the players.
That's from our OG fans.
WTB.
That's from early podcasts.
Yeah,
though.
yeah, he does.
We're the
OGs.
best.
We're the best.
All right, so you walked. Actually, let's go to the Friday before Grand Final Day because I saw you at Crown. We did a long session at Nobu.
Yeah, we did.
And-
And then there was me, you, Pang, Timmy Nodding.
Gary Lyon. Bucks was there early.
And then I went and caught up with Brown Dog. I thought I'd pick Coles up on the way home. Walk in, Campbell Brown, Nick Nat Nui, Jack Redden. Mate, you would have been in your element, Dino. As a West Coast,
Yeah,
West Coast
Daisy.
man. Daisy Thomas.
Liam Duggan.
Liam Duggan, that's
strong
right.
group.
Dog, you me there because I'm mates with Daisy. You could have got me in to have fun with Nick Nat.
I didn't know.
Yeah,
I
fair
just
enough.
rocked up there with a few of my mates, and I saw, Coles and JB and a few of them.
How's Nick Nat? Tell me about him. What's he like on the
great.
drink?
He's a big man.
Yeah, he's
Does he
big.
drink
He's
lots?
a big
He
man.
just loiters around, doesn't he? He's got
He
the
does.
dreadies that swing around every time he turns his head. Bang!
Is he fun, but?
Yeah, he's always fun.
I didn't realise he was so big, though.
Huge.
Like, he's just... Like, when you're standing beside him, he just makes you feel like a dwarf.
He's grown.
Yeah, absolutely. So Friday was so much fun, but I kept my powder dry.
Yeah.
Because the big one was for me yesterday.
You were? Oh, yes.
The 20-year reunion.
Yes.
And it was. Yeah, all I'll say is, Uncle Martin, it takes one person always. You got to have someone that just is motivated to organise these reunions and catch-ups. We're all old and...
Got to be clear that 20th reunion for the flags.
The flags. And Uncle Martin Pike, so Pikey organises it all. He doesn't discriminate. Just says, whatever year you played in the flag, you're all invited.
Yep.
And family, friends, all that sort of stuff. So turn up to the Royal Derby Hotel yesterday in
Where there's
Fitzroy.
a mural on,
Yes.
on the
Mate,
wall.
well, I've got one rule. I'm a very simple man, but I've got one rule in life. I only drink at pubs where my mural is out the front office. So we turn up there, and everyone came except Clark Keating, who'd somehow booked a European holiday.
What a dog.
So he was the only player out of all the players that played in premierships.
That's amazing.
That was not there at the pub yesterday. Lethal was there. Families were there.
Wait,
And-
who was being a tight ass? One of the Perth players that you had to really try to get him
Yeah,
over.
that's right. He got really invested in helping Pikey out with the organising. You know, I said to Pikey, geez, Ash has got really... he's bringing me every second day organising functions here. He goes, yeah, that's because he's trying to get flights paid. So, anyway, we got there, but... So we're there for a couple of hours. Yeah, a couple of pints. I had my heart set on the most pints drank in a 3-hour session. So I chipped away. But the most exciting part of the day, 2 p.m, when the premiership coach walks in.
Fly.
What?
Craig McRae
He came.
and Frank the Tank Lepage,
What?
his wingman. Mate, they walk in. Mate, they spent about 2 or 3 hours with us.
What?
How good is that?
It was
So they left the
unbelievable.
Collingwood celebrations
Yep.
and joined you.
That's
Joined us.
amazing.
That's
So,
beautiful.
mate, Fly's had a big, 36 hours. He had a baby.
That's right.
Saturday morning.
Maggie.
Coached the grand final, and then turns up to his premiership reunion. And he got up.
That's
and,
unbelievable.
And mate, Pikey did a magnificent interviewing. Because Pikey did the interviews, and he interviewed Lee first.
Wait, so
Lee-
Parker was a master of ceremonies.
Master of ceremony. So I'm going, he got a very unusual interviewing style as well. He just goes, I go, welcome to the stage, Craig McRae. I'm going to give you the mic. You just tell us the story. I'll go and stand at the bar. So Pikey would hand the microphone and then would go and stand at the bar. And then after he goes, I go, after 5 minutes, okay, that's enough. Welcome to the stage, Lee Matthews.
That's enough.
Mate, and Lethal gets up, mate. I'm not sure you workshop this. He goes, well done, man. Great interviewing style. Obviously, you'll be hosting the Logies next year because remember last year Pang hosted
right.
it. He did the same formality. So, and then Fly got up and obviously brought the house down. Fly got up and spoke beautifully for 5 minutes in front of all the boys, and then the band started.
What?
The band
You
started.
sing?
Absolutely.
Sweet Caroline?
Sweet Caroline.
Come on,
What?
John. Yes.
I don't think. Now, I was a bit nervous because I knew the boys would go to me with the microphone at
Had
some
to.
stage. And I thought, I've got to nail this. It's a big day, 20 years, all the boys are here, even Craig McRae's here. I could not have got Sweet Caroline more word perfect. Even though I was on my 36th pint, I was absolutely
Yes.
word perfect all the way
Yes.
through. And did an extra chorus for the crew at the
Oh,
end.
yeah.
This is what I love about this. Is very niche. I've got a audio example here. This is what I love every time I see you sing Sweet Caroline. There's this bit here.
Was in the spring, and spring became the summer.
What John does is right. He says, "Was it this spring?" And then he gets real conversational, and then he goes, "And spring became the summer."
I did too.
So he goes, "Was it the spring?"
And spring became the summer. How to love when I'm...
It's
He
gorgeous.
didn't do a great job of it there.
Yeah, not a great job.
No, let's go again. So what you do is you go, "And spring became the summer."
Okay.
So here we go. Was it the spring?
And
Spring became the summer.
No. We'll get there.
Okay.
So it's you're talking it.
Okay.
And spring became the summer.
Yeah.
Okay.
And real loud.
was in the spring, and
Spring became the summer.
No, this is exactly how. I promised you the last time. And spring became the summer. That's
Okay.
how you do it.
And spring became the summer.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
was in the spring,
And spring became the summer. Was that okay?
No. No, it wasn't.
I'm going to sing it, just say
Just-
it.
Spoken
okay,
word.
okay.
And
Spoken word,
spring
okay.
became
No
the
singing.
Okay.
It's
beautiful.
like you're delighted about
Yeah,
how.
no singing.
Spring became the summer.
Yes.
Spring became
But you
the
can talk.
summer.
You can speak
Okay,
it even more.
beautiful,
Just speak,
beautiful.
like as if we were speaking.
Beautiful.
Speak.
was in the spring,
spring became the summer.
Don't sing it. Just speak it.
And spring.
And spring became the summer. And spring.
Okay, beautiful. Sorry.
How did you play football for 20 years? You can't have take
keeping
direction.
all this.
Well, I thought you wanted me to say it.
We did. Say it.
You
Say
do
it.
this live. You conversationally say it. But anyway, let's try again.
One more time.
No, do you want me to say the words or the mouth?
Say the words. Say the words.
So when you do it, this is what makes me laugh. So you go, was it the spring? And spring became the summer. That's how you do it.
Okay, but you want me to actually say the words
Yeah,
or
say
mouth
the
it?
words, but don't
Okay.
sing.
Wasn't the spring
And spring became the summer.
That's it. We're not doing it anymore.
We can't.
We
You
can't.
don't just you speak it.
How-
And spring became the summer. You don't need to sing it.
How
Just-
did
and
that?
spring
How did that
became-
actually?
Well, I just said that then. I said and
No, you
spring
sang it.
became
You're
the summer.
singing it.
You keep singing it
sing
every
it.
time.
Spring, okay, right, last
This
one.
is the last
Last
one.
one, go.
wasn't the spring
And spring became the summer.
I'm going home.
I know how. I don't know how to say it.
You are actually broken. You are broken.
I think we got enough. Doug, tell me about September Club. What's it like?
September
For people
Club
that
was
dream
fun.
about going, what's the reality of going to September Club?
Well, it's like the birdcage, but the birdcage being a confined space where everyone can sort of just mingle in any
Is it a tent?
marquee.
Is it a
There's
tent?
numerous tents.
Okay.
So there's NAB and there's Sportsbet and
What's
there's
the best
SEN, there's Triple M and there's Carlton and United Breweries and there's all sorts. Oh, they're all good. You know, everyone just sort of loiters around. It was great.
Yep.
I finished there and saw a couple of Collingwood boys out later that night. They went to the Osborne and had a pretty good night. It's a funny one, JB. So after Hawthorn won our flag, you have your hour in the rooms where you're sort of getting your family and you grab for some interviews and you're doing this and that and then you go into we went out into the middle of the MCG and sort of everyone had gone and you sang the song again. Then you're on a bus to Fed Square.
Yep.
So you're wheeled out there. Then you go to Crown, where you're wheeled out there. And
How do you get to
We got
from
to-
Fred's go to Crown? What?
Buses.
Buses. Right. Okay.
then we got we went to Eve nightclub. That was where the after party was. We didn't really have a function room, so we rolled into Eve and it was absolute chaos.
Oh.
And we're all in our suits with our jumpers on still, down with all this boiling, right? And couldn't get a drink because you had to line up.
Oh no.
You still had the wristbands, so they're free, but you still had to line up to get served.
Momentum is lost.
So 30, 40 minutes, plus there's people, right? So that night was average. Then the next day, they wheeled us out at Glenfrey Oval,
Yep.
right? And then the next day, we flew to Tassie. They wheeled us out down in Tassie. Then the next day, there was
That would have been a tough trip going to Tassie.
yeah.
Oh,
then the
Jesus.
next day, they wheeled us out to Fans at Waverley, right? And it got to
Covering everything.
Wednesday, and I said to Crawford was making the decision, are you going to play on, are you not, right? I said, mate, what do you reckon? Do you think you're going to play on? He goes, well, I was considering it, but I'm going to retire. What if we go back to back? I can't keep doing this shit. So he retired because we won the flag, because of the Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. It wasn't until after the best and fairest, the following Saturday night, that as a player and everyone, you got a chance to go, all right, now we can
Relax.
do some things that we want to do.
Yep.
I think they might have relaxed a bit with it now, but you had to rock up sober. You couldn't have sunnies on. You couldn't be seen with a drink. It was very, very corporate-y, and we didn't have any days or long periods of time at someone's house or whatever that it was just us.
Yep.
Yeah. But it was still great, but I would have loved that moment with the
The great
boys.
part for us is obviously being the benefit of being an interstate team is we had the benefits of that time together.
Correct.
We obviously
The
had to fly
flight.
home. So I remember after the first time we went to Brunswick Street Oval and there was 15,000 people there and at the back of a truck everyone had to get up and do interviews. And Pikey was the last best and fairest winner at Fitzroy and he got up and he said, he spoke, it was the most eloquent speech I've ever heard in my life. For 7 or 8 minutes, word perfect. And then he goes, and to all the doubters about the merge, you didn't think this was going to work, the Fitzroy Brisbane connection. You can all go and get and then we jumped on the bus and we went out to the airport and we had a private jet home. And
that would have been nice.
It was unbelievable. I remember Timmy Notting leading the shotgunning of cans up the front of the plane on the way home, and then as we got close to Brisbane, the pilot said, I'm going to do a fly over the Gabba. So he did a loop of the Gabba, and there was about 10,000 people at the Gabba waiting for us.
How good is
it
that?
It was unbelievable. So he did a full loop, landed at Brisbane Airport, and as we arrived, the fire trucks were spraying the water over the plane.
Oh, that's sick!
That is so cool.
That's awesome.
It was unbelievable.
Hey, I did a lot of time with Timmy Notting, and he told me in more detail than you ever have the story about how you guys got arrested in Thailand. It's not for today, but we're going to go over that with a huge magnifying glass.
It was one of...
Jesus
I'm not
Christ.
sure what happened to that flight, but for some reason, something went wrong between Sydney
Something went wrong.
8 hours. May have had something to do with the opening of duty-free bottles on the plane.
Beck, how was your grand final
Not
day?
often you get a round of applause as you're getting escorted off the plane. First time it ever happened.
With men holding machine
I
guns.
had 15 military police escorting me off the plane with a standing ovation.
We're going to go into detail in another pod because it's too good to not. How was your grand final day, friend?
I was at Torquay with some mates by the beach.
Yes.
We watched the granny. It's a great night. Beverages in hand.
Okay.
Yeah, we're there by the weekend.
That sounds lovely. Now, you psychopath, what about you?
Every year we go to one of our mates, Big Sexy.
Yes.
He has a house in Richmond.
His name is Big Sexy.
Big Sexy.
Okay, yes.
And
yes.
has a rooftop, and so all the boys go there, and you have a partner, and you are charged with dressing up, and often they're politically incorrect, and you dress up with one another, and then you're partnered together for the day, and chaos ensues from that point on. And we had at one point, from the top of the rooftop, there was a construction site about 50 metres away, and it was throwing 4 cans of beer first to hit the crane that was standing on the construction site, and it was truly one of the greatest sporting feats in the history of this town.
That's fun, because the cans explode on impact.
Yeah.
That's fun.
So I'm sure the construction site's not going to be over the moon today.
What about the Stevie? I was with Stevie J Friday night. What about one of the boys that had the accident after the grand final?
Yeah, with the fireworks.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yarrawonga won the footy. They beat the Albury Tigers by 4 points, one of the great grannies. And the boys celebrated,
This year?
Yeah, this year, like only
Just
a few
a
days
couple of
ago.
days ago.
Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday night. I think Tuesday they went round to someone's house, and someone was lighting the pyrotechnics, the fireworks, and exploded in his face.
Oh.
He's in a coma. He's been airlifted to hospital down here in Melbourne. Yeah.
That is.
It's a young bloke.
Oh, my
He's a good
God.
player too.
There is. We have a degenerate from the WhatsApp group, and he's also a Brisbane fan. I think he's reeling today after what was a close one. So we're going to chat to Will now.
Oh, no, ads and we'll get Will on?
Yes.
Ads, don't move, back in a second.
This is Brownie's Podcast.
Welcome back to Brownie's Podcast. Congratulations again to the Magpies Army. If people aren't honest about it, I think we're all jealous that we're not one of them to some extent. It's such a vibe.
I'm a staunch Brisbane Lions person, obviously, but we would have been lucky if we had won it.
Yeah.
So the deserving team won the premiership this year, which is sort of what you want, I think.
Now, Broads, who we got lined up here?
We've got one of our favourite degenerates in the WhatsApp group. His name's Will. He's a massive Brisbane Lions fan. And obviously, you're really the moment, Brownie. I think he's in a similar state. So we'll chat to him now.
Son of a bitch better pick up his phone. Beep, bop, bop, boo. Come on, William.
Hello, Will speaking.
Will, you son of a bitch.
How are you, mate?
Very well. Commiserations.
Oh, boys, I've had better days.
Tough day at the office.
Yeah, it wasn't real good. But it's right up there. It's memorable.
Did you ever think,
First trial.
Will, it's Brownie, did you think at any stage we're going to win it?
Yeah, I did. Actually. I listened to Mitch on Friday. Was it Friday? Thursday? On the potty. And he said if they were close, quarter time, then Brisbane would run over them. And the way Zach Bailey started, man, I thought, holy shit, he's on for the North. Yeah.
After Joe kicked that goal to get you within 4 points, did you have a bus fat?
Oh, yeah, I did, until they paid advantage of Lockie Neal in the last 90 seconds.
Oh, yeah, jeez.
Where the hell did that come from? Especially, like, did you see earlier in the game? I'm sorry. I'm trying not to swear, Brownie. I don't want to get in trouble. Earlier in the game, Storks, that push in the back when he kicked it, they called it back. Like we were out clear on the flat side.
Yeah.
Dodgy was like, why isn't that advantage? So,
Well,
I don't know why he changed from one side of the game to the other.
You won't want to hear this, but Collingwood sort of got screwed over with a few dubious calls with West Coast and lost it. So is it just part of the footy universe?
To be fair, Pup, I actually thought it was probably one of the better umpire games of the final.
That's good.
To be honest. Like, and I know Brown Dogs clap at me whenever I put something in the WhatsApp group. But yeah, anyway.
Did you get very drunk, friend? Did you numb the pain with substance?
I don't think numb is quite the word. I was pretty fired up when we lost, so I went out and started mowing lawns.
Started mowing lawns.
Mate rang me at about 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. He's like, "Oh, how you feeling, big fella?" I'm like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I'm mowing lawns." He goes, "It's 10 o'clock at night." I'm like, "Well, I dare one of them to say something."
Did the lawns look good though, mate? Did you get a win out of the day?
I had to do them again on Sunday.
They're a bit zigzaggy. Yeah, I couldn't. That last minute, I realised it was about a minute to go or 30 seconds to go. So you look over the bench and see the signs they hold up. And I said to Coles, "We've got to get out of here. I can't put up with the Collingwood nuffies."
Oh yeah, good point.
Just to turn around and get stuck into it. So I walked into. I said, "I'm going to find the nearest function and just walk in there." I said, "I am not stopping." If security and the security went to stop me, I said, "Get out of my way." I just walked straight through.
I am Jonathan Brown.
Mate, I did the circular motion around the face with my index finger and just kept walking.
So you sought refuge in a function.
I did. I just walked in there. I said, I just need a beer. I need to stand at the bar.
Yeah.
And not have to put up with all these Collingwood degenerates.
Nah, look, I was going to invite a few mates around to watch the game with me. And my beautiful wife, in her wisdom, said, "No, mate, watching that one on your own."
Would we have been lucky if we had won it, though, Will?
I honestly reckon if they hadn't have paid advantage, Lockie would have found someone. I reckon.
But Brownie's point is, would you have been lucky? Because the scoring shots are pretty one-sided.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was the better team, sure. But,
yeah.
I mean, the better team won, but it's just shit as Collingwood. Whenever Collingwood wins, Australia lose. So.
Well, we love your work, mate. We love your work on the WhatsApp thread, and we'll talk to you over the off-season. We'll find out what you're up to.
So what's the go? Are you going back to once a week? Or?
Once a week. We don't know what day yet, but we'll let you know.
Christ's sake, someone's supposed to set me alarm to that.
See you, mate.
But narratives are always different depending on result, right? So if Brisbane had won, we would be talking about Collingwood's third quarter where they kicked 1 goal 6, and how they blew it, and the collie wobbles because they haven't won a grand final in September, because the two were in November, October.
That's right. That's right.
And everything would be they'd be singling out Jack Ginnivan, as I said, for going to the races.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like everything would be.
Did you see Dane Swan in the, I think it was in the Warnie stand, right on the balcony?
He was loving it.
Did you see it?
Swanee, yeah.
He held a full beer, and everyone down the bottom got wind that he was holding a full beer, and they started chanting, "He's knocked it back, he's sculled it."
Yeah, brilliant. Bob Hawke-esque at the cricket.
Absolute
I'll tell you
Hawkism.
what, it was pretty good effort. Quarter time when they seen Country Road, John Denver's, and obviously there was more Collingwood supporters there, but it was a fair effort by all the Lions supporters to get Country Road roaring. And it went around the stadium.
That's sick.
For 3 or 4 minutes. They played it all the way until the very bounce.
That's amazing.
And it actually drowned out the Collingwood supporters. It was a good effort.
I inadvertently broke a story about Charlie Cameron and Brisbane by a joke. So when I interviewed him on Friday before the grand final parade, I said, as I do, I make a story up, right, just as a joke for a laugh. And I said to him, "Is it true that the Brisbane Lions have put a request into the MCC to play John Denver Country Road when you kick a goal tomorrow?" Right? Like expecting him to go laughing. He goes, no, they actually have. They've spoken to him, and we haven't got confirmation yet, but hopefully they will. And I was like, "Oh, great. Dogs just nailed a news story then." He gave it up, but they obviously, MCC chose not to.
Well, they did a quarter time.
Yeah, but not during the game.
Obviously, to sort of ease the Collingwood frustration, they played M&M's at 3/4 time.
Right.
And for the Collingwood fans.
Yeah.
But it's not a that M&M, what's his...
Lose Yourself?
His big one.
The mum spaghetti one?
Yeah, but it's not a great singer. Yeah, not
Did
great.
anyone get it from that?
My vocals haven't been great today, but it's not a great sing-along song, whereas Country Road obviously is.
Brilliant.
Jonathan, I'm going to end this podcast with a loop of what you just did. It's going to sound really good.
Actually, we'll put up a good point. What we're going to be doing now, obviously post-footy season, and we are going to be going down to one a week. But we got some stuff coming up. For me personally, obviously, we revealed the news a few weeks ago that Browny had been fired from North Melbourne. We still didn't know that he'd been fired, but I'm determined to get you a job in the off season. So I just feel like you're going to not have a lot to do. So I'm going to get you a job. And we're going to have you apply for random jobs.
I've been offered a couple over the last few days.
Royzo wanted to know when Summer John begins, and Summer John is where Jonathan lets his hair grow and his beard flow.
It's starting.
Oh,
it's starting.
Yes.
I will not be shaving.
I'm going to be putting more tips on the WhatsApp group and on to the rest
Should we do
of the potty.
It'd be great to do like a race day.
Yeah, right.
Maybe an event.
Okay.
Maybe we toss up some ideas over the next week or two.
Campbell, will you offer anything on that day, or you?
No, I'll be there. No. Yeah, I will. I'll be there.
SEN track.
We're doing some SEN track. Campbell Responsibly episode 2 is going to be coming out.
What I do love is I actually think that Campbell has no sense of what the real world is like.
Yeah.
And so I also want to get people to weigh
office
in
job
and send us in, on our Instagram or WhatsApp, send us in some dilemmas that they have, and I want Campbell to solve them. I think Campbell's advice towards that, I'm going to call it Dog's Dilemma.
Okay.
And I think
Dog's Dilemma.
Come in and give you a little bit of advice as to just exactly what's going on.
But we'll see how long that lasts, because we had a concept called polywaffle as well.
The polyfiller.
Polyfiller that didn't last too long.
Muggsy's trivia.
Muggsy's trivia.
Hey, I love Muggsy's trivia.
No, Muggsy's trivia was great.
We just couldn't find a prize.
No, we've got to get that up for next year.
Yeah.
That has got to be sponsored.
Muggsy thinks I'm lying to him. I see it in his eyes when he goes, "Did you hate it?" I go, "No, mate, no."
We like
and he thinks I'm lying.
He thinks we sacked him.
I know.
But mate, it's just we couldn't find a sponsor.
Natural evolution. We just didn't get around to it again. We're not the most organised.
I'm going home.
We're going. We'll let Jonathan take you out with his rendition of Eminem.
Magnificent.